Welcome to Sylvan Lake, the Sylvan Lake Gulls!
Without further delay, Gulls baseball fan, let's welcome the first ever coach in our history, Jason Chatwood.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your Sylvan Lake Gulls!
It's been a busy 9 games in 11 nights for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, but it all wraps up here before Sylvan Lake heads on the road for a few games themselves. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and happy Independence Day to our neighbors south of the Canadian border. Glad to have you tuning in to FloCollege, brought to you by VisitSylvanLake.ca. Jim Claggett, Cale Clark here with you. Glad to have you watching on your Friday evening. It's a beautiful night here at Sylvan Lake for a beautiful ball game. It's a great crowd as well, and we're excited to get this one going as the Energy City Cactus Rats make yet another visit to Sylvan Lake after a rain out that canceled their last meeting. These two teams were facing each other, and that makeup game will be at the end of July. But first, we got this one, and Sylvan Lake just looking to keep the winning going as things have been really solid at home as of late.
Well, you know, they've rattled off, 8 wins out of 9 games at home here. Home cooking is... it's always good, you know, but then you got to go on the road now for 4 games starting tomorrow. It should be interesting to see if they can transfer that momentum that they built up here in those 9 games here and take it on the road with them.
One thing that you can take away into tonight's game, some new faces, both on both sides. Sylvan Lake Gulls is going to have a completely different outfield tonight. Kind of. Without, maybe just Simon Baker being one of the most consistent ones. But speaking of the outfield, it has been a busy stretch and some bumps and bruises along the way, and this is the last game that we have had. So this is explaining why that outfield might look a little different tonight. Both Brock Tiarina and Noah Connings sliding to make the catch. Brock Tiarina did, by the way, come away with that grab against Medicine Hat on Wednesday night, but it was not without paying a price first.
But that's the most incredible part of that is that he held on to that ball the whole time. And it's just, but talking to them afterwards, and we both did, and Noah, who is gone back home now,
yes,
he's okay.
Yep.
And Brock Tiarina said, yeah, it's a bit of a bruise, but I'll be fine too.
So Noah Conning's home, Brock Tiarina just taking a couple days off. But this guy, he had a couple days off himself, but not many days off, as Josh Dolich gets yet another start in a Sylvan Lake Gulls uniform on the mound here against the Energy City Cactus Rats, as he was part of that 6-game winning streak in those last 7 games. So, starting lineup tonight for the Energy City Cactus Rats, as we mentioned, new faces on both sides. Well, you're going to see some new faces here. Zach Barneo, he's one of the newcomers. Drew Abercrombie, another new guy stepping into the lineup here, and Dylan Cody as well, another new guy as well that'll lead things off the batting order for the Energy City Cactus Rats. And I had a good conversation with Drew Abercrombie, and he was telling me that this is a beautiful facility.
Oh, we know that.
He loves it, and he's
Thanks,
from Victoria, BC.
Okay.
So hi to the Abercrombie family. Hope you're enjoying whatever you might be doing this evening on the island. But he said just between where he's played up to this point and even in the States with his college, yet to see a ballpark like this. So
very good. Well, that's high praise.
Absolutely.
That is awesome. So Josh Dolich, talking to Josh just before the break, before they went out, had a day off there, he said they was going to go up to Banff, and him and his family were going to go up to Banff and check things out. And I said, so how did that go? And he says, oh, it was beautiful. We hiked up this hill. He says, my legs are killing me. But so I said, do you see any animals? He says, we saw a black bear.
Oh.
I said, you see any elk? No, he says, we didn't see any elk. We saw mountain goats on the road. We had to stop and let them cross. And he said, then I saw a chipmunk eating out of an ice cream bowl. So you got the whole experience kind of without, seeing some elk because they're all over the place there. First pitch there to Dylan Cody is in for a strike as we are underway here at Gulls Field. at Pagato Park. Josh Dolich on the mound, Junior Garcia behind the plate. Dylan Cody, Parker Husu, and Timo Aracena are the three batters scheduled to start things off for the Energy City Cactus Rats.
And I mentioned it earlier, but Josh Dolich did play in that part of that 6-game winning streak that they went on, and it was back on June 26th against the Brooks Bombers and their 9-6 win. He had that 4 innings pitched. He gave up 3 hits, only 1 run, and he had a strikeout as well in that game.
Oh, there you go. Thank you for the update. 2-2 the count on Dylan Cody, and that's over his head, but he got out of the way.
Good duck.
Duck, duck, goose.
I was just going to say, yeah.
Yeah, that's too easy.
Yeah.
Full count on Dylan Cody. And he fouls that back. Josh Dolich is what, 6'6", I think they've got him listed as.
Yeah, he's one of the tall guys on the team for sure. As we take a look at exactly how tall he is.
This is grounded down to Tai Yukumoto, and a strong throw, but that gets away from Matt Brandt over at first, as Yukumoto had to hustle to get that down there, because Dylan Cody can run. But good coverage there by Junior Garcia. That kept Dylan Cody over at first base.
Yeah, missed throw there by Yukumoto, first throw of the game. And again, we've seen this from Yukumoto, where, you know, he has a pretty tough play to make for the first play of the game, and just maybe not quite into that warm territory yet with the arm. I mean, they warm up before the game, I know that, but sometimes it takes a little bit of action to kind of get yourself into the game, and
well,
I'm sure he'll settle in, because he did that last time. He settled in real nice.
Plus, in his defense, he's been off for over a month.
Yes.
From playing baseball. This is game number 3, I think, for him. In the Gulls uniform. So, you know, he's still getting acclimatized to Sylvan Lake and the fans and the weather and the mountain, you know, the infield. Well, the infield, I think he probably likes it. Like every infielder we've ever talked to say the bounces are true. Yeah, you can get away with a few things playing them differently. So, Parker Husu, the designated hitter, is in now to face Josh Dolich. We're just underway here at Gulls Field on another beautiful night. I don't think we're going to get hailed out tonight. And a called strike there. Clayton Wandler is your home plate umpire tonight. Down on the right field line is Levi Wagner, and Don Buskus, the crew chief, is over at third. That is skied towards the Gulls dugout. Junior and Brooks Bachman, Junior Garcia and Brooks Bachman. We almost had our first collision of the game tonight.
Yeah, almost a little
back to back
deja vu there for the Sylvan Lake Gulls from the benches. Both Bachman and, as you mentioned, the catcher coming in, and Junior Garcia. And Garcia knew. He tapped his chest like, yep, sorry, should have let you have that. Because I heard Bachman calling for it. So.
Yeah.
But the out was made regardless.
The out was made. That's
no harm, no foul.
No injuries.
Yeah, no injuries. That's a big one. You know, that one play last, just the Wednesday night there, that could have ended a lot more worse than it did for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. And Brock Tiarina is obviously probably lucky that he's walked off on his own will, and same with Noah Connings.
Mm-hmm. You know, and I think the fact that they were both sliding to get to the ball as opposed to running into each other, like standing up and going full speed, I think that made a difference. But they're both young guys and they're flexible. How's that? I'd be in traction if I'd run into somebody like that. So,
yeah.
Timo Aracena steps in now to face Josh Dolich. With Dylan Cody, the base runner, over at first. He looks like he wants to go. And that is ripped into dead center field and off the base of the wall. as Kyle Lewis has to hustle and get to that, but an RBI double for Timo Aracena, who just got all of that one.
Yeah, he absolutely gripped it and ripped it right down Main Street. That was right off the base of the 400-yard wall, or foot wall, sorry, and that sent home, as you mentioned, Dylan Cody all the way from first. As Cody, little display of his wheels.
This will bring up the first baseman, Zach Barneo, one of the new faces in the Cactus Rats lineup. This is into foul territory towards the bullpen. Matt Brandt is run out of room. As he got over there, and had he got a little more, had the ball stayed in the park, he might have had a play on that. So
There you saw the pitcher that's warming up in the bullpen. A couple pitchers that they're already throwing to the bullpen so far, and that's number 31, Cole Bolton, who had the ball originally from that foul ball. But another prime example, Jim, of an error coming back to haunt you and cost you. And it did there, as they got Dylan Cody on base and then driven in by a big bat of Parker Husu. Or sorry, Timo Aracena. My apologies.
you had me looking at my score sheet.
know,
Did I skip a guy again? Gee.
No, that was me this time. Let's take a look at your Sylvan Lake Gulls defense out in the outfield. As we mentioned a little bit in the pregame show, you got a newcomer in number 44, Michael Quick out in left field, Kyle Lewis at center, and Simon Baker in right field. Kyle Lewis probably most likely going to be getting that center field position moving forward.
I think so,
the
yeah.
remaining of the year.
We've seen him in a couple of games already, and he's showing that he's got some wheels and he's got a good glove. Center field, that makes sense.
Speaking of wheels, do you think Michael Quick is fast?
Uh-huh.
Had to.
I'm a little contagious.
There you are. It's wearing off.
That was kind of punny.
Yeah, it was.
And this is lifted out to right field. Simon Baker near the warning track will haul it in, and that'll move Timo Aracena over to third. And a fly ball out to right for the second out. So I, speaking of puns, I sent 10 puns into a contest. It was a write-in contest, and didn't do so well. No pun in 10 did.
There it is. That's a good one. Where do you get these? I gotta know. Where do you find these?
I can't reveal that source.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'd have to kill you.
Yep. It's called He Wakes Up in the Middle of the Night and it just comes to him.
I write it down.
Yeah, but
You know, it comes with age and experience, my friend. That's all it is.
well, fans at home probably just shut their TVs off.
Well, you know what?
Just muted.
Just muted.
Muted
yeah.
us. Yeah.
Well, that's what my wife does. Calvin does that to us all the time.
I don't blame him.
0-2 the count. And that misses just outside. 10 Shindo, the shortstop. With a runner over at third. The Cactus Rats with one run in here in the top half of the first inning on an RBI double by Timo Aracena. And Dolish gets a ground ball from Shindo and a throw over to first by Rowan O'Connor. And the Gulls are out of the inning, but not before the Cactus Rats get one across. We are going to the bottom half of the first. Gulls coming to bat.
For more than 40 years, we've been there, helping Canadians find the extra space they need to grow and to create new memories. Sentinel Storage. Buy Canadian, store Canadian.
There's your starter for tonight for the Energy City Cactus Rats, Steel Whitcheck. Oh, I got a pun going in my head, and I will just avoid saying it.
I can only imagine what that's going to be.
No, I won't. I will show some restraint. There's the lineup that Steel Whitcheck is going to face. Yukamoto, Baker, Garcia, Quick, Bachman, O'Connor, Brandt, McCarris, and Kyle Lewis in that order.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Michael Quick has in store, being that number 4 spot in the batting lineup. And as we take a look at that pitcher in Whitcheck, he is getting his second start of the season in a Energy City Cactus Rat uniform. He's got 5 innings of work done already. He's got 1 strikeout. He's given up 4 earned runs and 8 hits. Now, here's the thing. The Energy City Cactus Rats are coming off an absolutely big win over the Brooks Bombers. In fact, it was so big, they hit over 20 runs scored. Now, can you imagine where they were playing? I'm sure you can guess. Yeah, it was in Brooks. 24-10, they beat the Brooks Bombers just last night, I believe it was.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch.
24-10 last night. They're coming off a pretty big win there.
Last week there was also one, I think Okotoks put them up 24-2.
I think that was over Lethbridge.
Was that over Lethbridge? Oh, maybe it was.
It was a big one. I'm pretty sure
that was
Lethbridge.
a big one too. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
What's going on? Want to know the count on Tai Yukamoto. Young man from Hawaii, the island of Oahu. That's lifted out into left field. Dylan Cody with the glove and the catch and the first out.
Yeah, Yukamoto not afraid to swing at the first pitch he sees if it's down the middle. Kind of similar to a Matty Fung style, where if it's over the plate, he's going to swing at it.
Yep. Sometimes that might be the best pitch you see.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what Aaron Judge said the other day in MLB. He said, yeah, I do a lot of first pitch swinging because that usually is the best pitch I see. Guy wants to get off to a good start and throw a strike.
Some people think he cheats a little bit.
Aaron Judge?
Yeah.
How does he cheat?
There was speculation of him, being able to, out of the corner of his eye, or, some, whether it's a first base coach or if there's a base runner, they give him a signal on what to expect that's coming down the line. And we did talk to even some Gulls line players that I've heard that if they can read a pitch, they can usually some players in the States will give them a finger from the second base to kind of let the batter know what they see and what they think's coming down.
Well,
after seeing the catchers.
Yeah, they can give location.
Yeah.
Which is totally
You still got to hit the ball.
You still got to hit the ball.
Yeah.
I don't. Aaron Judge to me.
He's just a heck of a player for sure.
He's very. There's no drama surrounding him, as far as I'm concerned. 1-2 the count on Simon Baker. One down in the bottom half of the first inning. Gulls trailing 1-0 against the Energy City Cactus Rats.
I mean, there's always going to be the haters, right?
Well, yeah. When guys are successful.
And when last year he was, really on that home run streak, that's when a lot of that stuff started coming out, because I think people were starting to get just jealous and upset about how much he was clearing the fence on a nightly basis.
Well, have you seen the size of that
man?
The
guy's a monster. Absolute monster.
He doesn't need any help.
No.
Chemically.
And again, you got to still be able to hit the ball.
Yeah.
If you know what's coming down, you still got to be able to swing at it.
And Simon Baker sends this into left field, and Dylan Cody loses his hat but hangs on to the ball, makes the second out in a row.
Yeah, good play back-to-back by Dylan Cody to get there, and he ran onto that pretty quickly. I thought maybe he was going to overrun it the way he was coming in with speed on that ball, but got there with lots of time and makes a good catch.
That'll bring up the catcher, Junior Garcia, who has a hidden talent. We saw the other night on the bullpen camera as he was juggling not one, not two, but 3 baseballs. Something he learned in high school. He said he'll teach me. And that is ripped into dead center field, or deep center field, I should say. And right up against the wall was Elias Campbell to make the grab. So a well-hit ball ends up in a glove. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. 1 complete, 1-0 Energy City Cactus Rats. They come to bat.
Hey baseball fans, make sure to stay up to date with your favorite teams across the league by subscribing to the WCBL YouTube channel right now. We have tons of free coverage for you over there, including daily highlights, full archived game broadcasts, daily game day previews, plus 2 weekly shows including the WCBL Report with myself and Joe McFarland every Wednesday, and also the WCBL Game of the Week pregame show leading right up to game time every Thursday night. It's all in one spot, the WCBL YouTube channel. Subscribe today.
We are back. Joel Dolich for his second inning of work. Drew Abercrombie, one of the new faces from, like you mentioned, Victoria, BC. He's your second baseman for the Energy City Cactus Rats. He'll lead things off here in the second. And that misses outside for a ball.
Yeah, nice West Coast kid. Had a great chat with him before the game, and yeah, he's really taken in the facility here in Sylvan Lake.
And a called strike there, even to count at 1-1. I'm glad he likes the stadium.
Of course, yeah. I mean, that's not the first time I've heard that. It's probably the 3rd or 4th time this year I've heard the other team, you know, in the stairwell saying, "My goodness, this is a facility."
Yeah, and it is. I mean, really, when you look around, it's got everything that you could probably possibly need.
Yeah.
From a fan perspective, from a player's perspective, you got the nice grass in the outfield. You got the perfect infield with no bad bounces, really. The only thing about the outfield or the infield is when it gets wet, it gets slicker than goose poop.
Slide, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, as we just saw on the camera there, the great crowd in attendance here tonight yet again at Gulls Field on a Friday evening, as that is drilled over the first baseman's head. Matt Bratton couldn't quite stretch all 6 feet of him up to grab that one, so it's going to land as a base hit for Drew Abercrombie.
All 6'4" of him.
Yeah.
I just happened to look. I went, oh.
I was just guessing. Well, I knew it was minimum 6 feet. I couldn't remember exactly.
Well, they're all over 6 feet except for about 5 of them.
Exactly.
So.
Good hit though for Drew Abercrombie.
That'll bring up the catcher, Hunter Ferguson. And Abercrombie's got a decent lead over there at first. And Dolich comes in with a strike.
And really the TV doesn't, probably what the cameras show doesn't really do it justice of the facility here at Gulls Field either. I think it's one of those things you got to experience in person. You got to experience the atmosphere. Got to experience a tipsy bird maybe. You know, you really got to experience the full
Are you getting commission
baseball
on the Tipsy Bird?
the food and
drinks?
beverage people. I wish.
'Cause you seem to be plugging that Tipsy Bird.
Well, it's a
lot there,
signature Gulls drink. Why
Okay,
not,
I
you
know. I get it.
It's like one of a
I'm
kind.
just asking.
Oh, fair. I've only had one.
Yeah, Junior Garcia with a nice block there. Apparently one's enough.
Yeah. Change your life.
You didn't drink the Kool-Aid. You bought into it, I think. 2-1 the count on Hunter Ferguson. With the base runner over at first in Drew Abercrombie, and they throw over to first, and a good throw by Josh Dolich. That had some heat on it. But Abercrombie got back in time. And he'll go back to taking pretty much the same lead. He's maybe a little further. And a good off-speed pitch there by Josh Dolich. Evens the count at 2-2. 1-0 Cactus Rats here in the top half of the second inning. And that's fouled off. Yeah, that sun can shine for another 2.5 hours, I think.
I would not complain.
And then it can rain. It can rain after 10:30.
Yep.
I'm cool with that.
Mm-hmm.
And a throw down to first. Junior Garcia just about heaved that into right field, and that would have ended up with Drew Abercrombie probably over at third.
That time the full 6'4" stretched out for that
Yeah.
one, and a little extra on top of that too.
He must be a basketball player too. I know Joe Dolich is. He plays pickleball too.
Oh wow.
Yeah, him and his buddies, they got into pickleball.
Oh, that wouldn't even be fair. Having a
So-
tall guy like that on the other side of the court against you.
I know.
You have the
Jeez.
reach.
Oh,
you wouldn't even be able to do anything.
No, you'd have to hit it right at him.
You'd have to, yeah,
Actually, that's one of the
smash
secrets.
it right at his chest.
Well, actually, you know what? That's one of the secrets of pickleball is to hit at the guy's feet.
Is that right, eh?
Yep. Down to third, and Brooks Bachman with one, and over to first. The turn by Rowan O'Connor, and a double play for the Sylvan Lake Gulls to erase that base runner.
Great play by Brooks Bachman to get it over to Rowan O'Connor and then over to Matt Brandt after that. That was just a great play and lots of time. It wasn't even close over at first by the time they finished that double play. And that's got to feel good for Brooks Bachman because we've seen Bachman have a little bit of struggles in the third base area, and you know, especially early on in the games, he's had a tough time getting things going. But you know what? He's come a long way, and I think last game, those at bats really drove in some confidence, I think, for him as he came into that game.
He's a good young man and
Great kid.
He's always smiling.
Yep.
He always says hello.
Yep. Always will make sure he first to say hi, and
Yeah.
got lots of respect for number 2.
0-2 the count here on the right fielder, Kenny Sanders. The number 8 hitter in the Cactus Rats lineup tonight. The 0-2 pitch down in the dirt. Count 1-2 now. Number 40, the center fielder, Elias Campbell, is on deck. Yeah, pretty much the same pitch there. Evens the count at 2-2.
Yeah, it's bouncer before the plate.
The 2-2 pitch on the way. Catches the outside corner, freezing Elias Kenny Sanders. And a strikeout, the first of the night for Josh Dolich, and that brings the inning to a close. No runs on one hit.
And a
That
great
double
play. Yep.
Welcome back. Steele Whitcheck on the mound for the Energy City Cactus Rats. He'll face the newcomer Michael Quick, Brooks Bachman, and Rowan O'Connor. The 4, 5, and 6 batters for the Sylvan Lake Gulls in the lineup tonight. This is our first look at Michael Quick from Oshawa, Ontario. Goes to Southern Illinois University. That misses outside. Count 2-0 on the Gulls left fielder tonight.
Oshawa, Ontario kid. Goes to Southern Illinois University and watches that one go for a ball. 3-0. I'm sure on base would be a pretty good first at bat experience for this guy in Sylvan Lake. He'd be happy to take first.
Yeah. And he'll be taken on this pitch, I think. And he was. And there he goes. Draws a walk to lead things off here in the second inning. That'll bring up the third baseman, Brooks Bachman, who started that double play. Then he helped out his pitcher, Josh Dolich.
The third baseman, number 2, Brooks Bachman.
And as I mentioned, Bachman with a couple base hits back in that last game against Medicine Hat since coming in, and went 2 for 2 on the night. Got a run that he crossed the plate himself.
Big swing and a miss there by Bachman. I just looked over at Michael Quick, and he's got a pretty good lead over there. Like he's well past that cutout.
Like I said, he must be pretty fast.
Well, we might find out. And he stays there. The count 1-1 now on Bachman. San Diego, California native. Got to meet his parents when they were down last week to watch Brooks play, and very nice people. Very nice people.
Well,
they tune into the broadcast, so thank you very much.
Yeah.
Throw over to first there, and quickly gets back.
Nice. I had a feeling that
Oh, that was
Bachman
good call.
would be, his parents would be just as nice as him.
Oh, yeah.
And
his brother,
learned,
too.
He's
His brother
learned
was with
well.
him,
I mean,
too.
it's just sounds like an all-around great family, and they did a great job raising this young man.
Yeah.
He is, he's a delight to have around. Always smiling, as you mentioned.
There he goes. There
Yeah.
goes Michael Quick, and
Well, that's not even close.
that was living up to the name. he got down there in a hurry,
Yeah.
and
Like he almost didn't even need to slide. That's how fast he got there.
that's a pretty good stolen base for Michael Quick. 2-1 the count on Bachman, now with the base runner over at second base in scoring position. Now this is where Ken Shindo does a little cat and mouse game with the base runner all the time. He stands there and behind him and pretends he's going to second and that a play is on. It just keeps the guy a little closer.
Well, Steele Whitcheck called his catcher and Hunter Ferguson to come up to the mound to just quickly make sure they're on the same page. And it was only a very fast exchange of words of the pitcher telling the catcher what he wants. And they both nodded and went back to their respective positions.
Fouled out of play. Count now 2-2 on the Gulls' third baseman, Brooks Bachman. Rowan O'Connor, the second part of that double play duo. He is on deck. well outside with that off-speed pitch. Count now full. 1-0 Energy City Cactus Rats over the Sylvan Lake Gulls here in the bottom half of the second inning. And a good crowd out there tonight. Berms are pretty much packed. Always a good sight.
Yep, it's great.
One of these days I'd like to watch a game, just, from down there.
I got to.
Did you?
I did.
When?
Preseason game
Oh, did you?
against the Red Deer Riggers. I
Oh,
decided
okay.
to bring a few friends, and I figured, why not? Let's go out, let's watch. And it also gave me an idea on what we were kind of getting ready for the season, to see what guys are going to stand out. And of course, number 2 of the Sylvan Lake Gulls, Brooks
Yeah.
Bachman,
He stood out.
big time in that game.
And he rips
And he's
this into the
standing out
gap.
there too.
And that's going to score a run. One hop off the wall. Bachman thinking of third. And drops anchor over at second base. But an RBI double for Brooks Bachman as he ripped that into right center field. And ties this game up.
Yeah, Bachman, he showed off that he has a good bat, and that was, a great example why. But that looked kind of close to what I saw against the Red Deer Riggers game, except the only difference is bases were loaded, and that went over the fence on the preseason game.
Yes, it did.
For Bachman. So a great hit there.
A long way over the fence. Rowan O'Connor, Seattle, Washington native. Also plays at Gonzaga University in Spokane.
So the Gulls are 2-1 against Energy City in the 3 meetings that they have faced. They technically had 4 meetings, but the one being postponed due to terrible weather. The hailstorm that hit that didn't want to go away and then didn't want to melt, so they decided to cancel the game, and they postponed it to the July 29th game.
A good rip there by Rowan O'Connor. And now also, with the hail that came down, a couple of the players on the Cactus Rats who had never seen snow, a couple of guys from Florida, I believe, and they decided to make a little snowman in front of their dugout, and they did.
And it was good.
Put a little
snowman.
hat on him.
They put the Gulls hat on him.
Was it a Gulls
Yeah,
hat?
they put a little Gulls helmet. Like
Okay.
it was a little helmet that you could buy from the store, I believe.
Yeah.
It was like a baby baseball helmet, and they put it on the snowman's head. Gave the snowman a nose.
Yeah, did they?
Yeah.
What did they use for that?
I can't remember what they used. In fact, I got a picture. Let me bring it
Okay.
up on my phone because they still have it. And I'll tell you in a minute what they used.
1-2 the count on Rowan O'Connor. Brooks Bachman is the base runner over at second with an RBI double to tie this game up. Nobody out here in the bottom half of the second inning. Don't show me a picture while I'm trying to call the game.
Well,
Kale,
yeah,
I'm trying to watch
he's
what's
about to throw it.
happening here.
You're good. You had a second to peek.
And O'Connor sends this into left center field. Brooks Bachman will tag and make his way over to third. At least I think he tagged.
No, he didn't. He just stopped halfway, and he thought about going back, but then
Oh yeah, he
realized
didn't
it dropped
have to.
in. So
yeah.
because he was thinking, oh, this might be caught, and then he did a little shimmy shuffle, and then off to third he went. So
Yeah. See, now I got thrown by you trying to show a picture of a snowman. Like
See.
I've never seen a snowman before.
well, they used a carrot for the snowman's nose.
Where did they get a carrot
Well,
from?
probably somebody's lunch kit. You know.
Somebody's lunch kit?
Oh, of course, guys bring lunches on the road. Probably
These
little
guys bring
snacky
healthy
snacks.
food?
Why not?
Oh, come on.
Yeah, of course.
They're-
Little snacky snack.
18 to 24-year-olds.
And then they also put sunglasses on the guy, on the snowman
They
too.
did, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So little Sylvan Lake helmet, bucket hat on, and glasses, and a little carrot nose.
And then they tackled him at the end of the
And
night.
then they gave him a pretty good tackle, yeah.
Yeah.
No arms, though. Poor guy
Well.
was armless.
Yeah, well,
Let's just say he didn't have a very good outing with his pitching that night.
they couldn't find any twigs to stick in there, I guess.
Should have just used a bat. Just
Yeah, I don't think that would have worked.
Nah, probably wouldn't have hung in there.
No, that's pretty heavy, and I don't think. Well, it was hail basically. It wasn't snow. And the hit and run goes as Rowan O'Connor. Look at that stride. I just love watching that guy run.
It's almost like he's running in slow motion because of his long stride. It's something to watch. A great RBI by Matt Brandt. And that brings up his buddy, his good old pal, Aiden Macris, to the plate. But yeah, look at that stride on the top of your screen there of Rowan O'Connor. He makes it look effortless, yet he's running fast, but he looks like he's moving in slow motion.
I love it.
It's a weird, it kind of throws you off a little bit if you're not paying attention.
He's got a long, long stride. Aiden Macris with runners on the corners in Matt Brandt and Rowan O'Connor. Macris, the DH tonight for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. He's got some pop in his bat.
Yeah, he's among the top leaders in RBI count for the Sylvan Lake Gulls this year.
Might have got him. Oh, pretty close play over there at first as Matt Brandt was leaning a little bit to his right. And a throw over there by Steele Whitcheck.
Macris 18 RBIs so far this year. The only one that's beating him in the RBI count is Jaden Flores with 21.
Yeah, Jaden's had a hot bat. I mean, he gets the night off tonight.
Sure does.
If they ever need a pinch hitter, I'm sure they'll look down his way.
Yeah.
But the Gulls don't want to get to that point where they need a pinch hitter. 2-1, Gulls lead it now. Here in the bottom of the second with nobody out still. Runners on first and third. An 0-2 count on Macris. That misses inside. That was one of those. That is close enough to look at. It's probably close enough to swing at. But he looked at it the whole way. And he got the call from Clayton Wandler.
One other thing that these guys are tied in with the batting is home runs. 5 for Macris and 5 for Flores. That's leading the team in homers this year.
Another throw over to first. That was a little more adventurous as the first baseman, Zach Bernero, had to kind of stretch a little more than he probably wanted to corral that ball. The 1-2 pitch here to Aiden Macris. And he one-hops this down to the shortstop 10, Shindo. And they can't turn the double as Matt Brandt kind of broke it up, but that drives in another run, another RBI for Aiden Macris. And that's the first out of the inning, but an RBI for Matt Brandt.
Yeah, a little bit of a hesitation here on the shortstop. I think he didn't realize how slow that ball was coming to him, so he kind of just stood still and then let it one hop in front of him for making the throw over to second to try to turn the double play. And Drew Abercrombie just decided, I don't really have enough time here. I'm going to hold on to this one, take the out.
Now I have to backtrack here. I said that was the second RBI for Matt Brandt. No, that was Aiden Macris that got the RBI. Matt Brandt was on base. So,
however, Matt Brandt did get an RBI.
He did get one earlier. It all ties together, eventually, in my head. 0-1 the count on Kyle Lewis, another one of the new faces here in Sylvan Lake. We've seen him, I think, in 2 games now. He's made 2 appearances. I think he was in right field, and then he moved over to center field for another game. Or maybe it was in the same game. That might have been during the injuries to Tiarina and Noah Connings.
Yeah, he's had 2 games, and he's had 4 at-bats. This will be his 5th at-bat here.
He sends this high into right field. And Kenny Saunders settles underneath it and makes the grab for the second out of the inning.
Ty Okamoto back at the plate, 2 away. Gulls now lead 3-1 over the Energy City Cactus Rats. We are in the bottom half of the second inning. You're watching Gulls baseball on FloCollege, brought to you by Visit SylvanLake.ca. Jim Claggett, Cale Clark here with you in the Gulls Nest broadcast booth.
Throw over to first. Steele Whitcheck likes to throw over to first. He's pretty confident. I mean, there's not much of a lead there from Macaris. Well, now he's got that foot past the cutout, so, you know, he's got the speed. And there he goes. And the throw down by Hunter Ferguson, not in time. And it looks like the Gulls are thinking they can run on Hunter Ferguson. Although the catchers will tell you they're running on the pitcher, not the catcher. And some, you know, in some cases that is true. If the pitcher has a really slow delivery to home plate, that makes it hard on the catcher to try and throw the guy out.
Yeah, exactly.
A quick move to home, now that helps the catcher, in my limited experience. As Yukamoto sends this out into center field. And that brings the inning to a close, but not before the Gulls plate 3 more runs here in the bottom half of the second inning. Sylvan Lake with a 3-1 lead after 2 complete, and Cactus Rats coming to bat. Back to the action here at Gulls Field at Pagato Park. Jim Claggett, Cale Clark here on FloCollege Sports. The Sylvan Lake Gulls, with 3 runs in the bottom half of the second inning, have taken a 3-1 lead over the Energy City Cactus Rats. Dylan Cody, the leadoff batter here for Energy City, steps in. He got on base on a throwing error to the shortstop, Ty Yukamoto. That led things off in the very first inning. And he grounds this one down to second. Rowan O'Connor slides over to his left, up with it and over, and 1 down.
Pretty routine play there for Rowan O'Connor as he makes that look easy over to Matt Brandt. You know, this is a completely different Gulls team, I think, too, that the Energy City Cactus Rats are seeing from the last time that these two teams met. Just, you know, that opening week, Gulls were still trying to find their stride, and they just didn't look quite as confident making those plays, fielding balls. You know, anything that was kind of hit to them, it looked a little shaky. But you look at them now, and they look strong.
Yeah,
the confidence is there.
Yeah, the confidence is there. The familiarity with each other. Now it's just, let's just play some good baseball.
Yeah.
You know, we've got the awkward introductions out of the way. Although This is grounded down to Brooks Bachman, and on the run, he
Wow.
throws him out over at first. Parker Husu got down that baseline pretty good, but Brooks Bachman with an excellent throw on the run, and yeah, it was a tight play.
Yeah, I
But
believe
he
that
got
was
the call.
Dylan Cody that got thrown out at first there. But yeah, Brooks Bachman is that's just again to go to show what I was mentioning back in earlier this inning is Bachman looks just solid. He looks confident, and that's something that we didn't see from any of the Gulls last time that they may have played Energy City. They didn't look as confident making those plays, and that time Bachman makes no mistake.
Yeah, you're right. That was Dylan Cody. Of course, I missed the Elias Campbell at the bottom of the order there. I robbed him of an at bat.
No, it's all good.
So sorry, Elias. My bad.
So I just see something right now, and you're going to be pumped when I say this.
Uh-oh.
You know, we were talking about the K-Man last game. There's a K on that fence, Jim.
There
Now,
is too.
Whether a fan heard us on the broadcast and said, we got to get that guy back here, or the K-Man himself heard us and said, all right, I got to come back. There's K's on the fence again.
There you go.
So that's the first time I've seen that this year.
Awesome.
Over on the, just behind the home team dugout up on the hill, right off the berm there.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah. Look at that, as you can
There
take
it
a look
is.
at on
Good
the
shot.
screen.
There's the
Now, I
K.
don't see the faucet man, but maybe somebody else is helping him.
I think it was one of these two people. Yeah, there we go. And a strikeout. He's going to have to put another K up there because Parker Husu is sat down by an 86-mile-an-hour pitch from Josh Dolich. There it is. No runs on no hits. One man left on base. 2.5 complete, and the Gulls coming to bat.
Well, the K-Boy has been answered. It's a kid doing it this time. So Fawcett has been replaced by that young fan right there. And she looks happy, as I think Dad is the one that brought the K's. I saw Dad holding up the sign and had his daughter help him put the K up on the fence. So well done, guys, and good job to our production crew to catch that shot over on the left field berm.
And they got it right, a looking
K.
strikeout, and it goes up backwards.
Yeah. Love it.
Simon Baker will lead things off here in the third inning, facing Steele Whitcheck. That's a baseball name right there. Steele Whitcheck.
Oh, and then I just got a text here
Uh-oh.
from our very own Marissa Stryker, who helps out with the Sylvan Lake Gulls. I believe I'm going to butcher her title, but pretty sure she's event coordinator. She She handles a lot of like the events that happen.
Yep.
You know,
50-50 draws.
50-50 draws. She does a lot. For the
Special
Sylvan Lake
nights.
Gulls. Absolutely
She does
incredible girl. She's always busy, always a smile on her face. We love Marissa. She texted me saying Matthew and his daughter Lily are taking over the K-Sign starting today.
Oh, well. Isn't that nice?
So Matthew and Lily. Good job.
Thank you, Matthew and Lily. They're a good team.
Absolutely. Look at that. Great day to be at the ballpark.
There they are.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Good. You know what?
So thank you, Marissa.
Being part of the group. You are now part of the team. You guys are part of the team. 100%. That misses outside. 3-1 the count on Simon Baker. Wyatt McKnight and Don Buskus are having a conversation way down the third baseline there. He's nowhere near the coach's box.
Looks like a pretty good casual conversation, too.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I'm not
Probably
saying they're
nothing baseball related.
It could be,
Can you
hey,
imagine?
do you know what's
Good.
the special? It's so and so. Yeah, there they are.
Yeah.
They're just having a little chat.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, and
Good places to eat
they're
around the area.
smiling.
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
your favorite place to eat? Yeah, it's all good. All chill. I love it.
Full count on the right fielder, Baker, who flew out to left field last time up. And he sends this right back up the middle. Ten Shindo is going to have to hurry. And he gets it across in time for the first out.
Now, those are the plays that Shindo likes to make. I mean, it's one of those plays that the ball's coming to him a little quicker than it did last time. So that time he can run onto it a lot easier and make the throw with time to be spared. You know, Simon Baker, he's a fast runner too. So, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of time on that throw regardless. But a great play by the shortstop for the Energy City Cactus Rats.
This will bring up the catcher, Junior Garcia. Boise, Idaho. Now, I've recognized Junior's truck.
Yes.
And I told him one day, remember the game he had 3 foul balls, like just ripped them down the left field line. And they were in that area where his truck might be, and mine too. And I parked beside him twice now. And I said, well, if you hit your truck, you might hit mine too. He says, no. He says, I want that to stay fair.
And hit the trucks that are behind the fair line.
And get the home run.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't worry about my truck. No, that's in foul territory. I don't want to hit it.
It's a double whammy if you hit it that far left.
That's right. You probably bounce it off of mine and not hit his. But that's okay too. It's an old truck. 1-1 the count on Junior Garcia.
Not the old Ford Ranger, Jim.
Yeah.
That thing's a beauty.
That has been around for 18 years.
That's seen some life. Yeah.
It has. But only 135,000 kilometers on
that's impressive. Yeah. Yeah, you barely drive that thing. I mean, probably the most you drive is probably here to the ballpark.
Well, it did make a few trips out to Kelowna, BC.
Okay.
To move some furniture, out to Manitoba to move some furniture.
So it's seen the highway. It's seen a little bit across Canada. I like it.
The problem is, though, that furniture that we moved is in my basement now. And we don't use any of it. And it's like, oh, my goodness.
All that work.
Well, you know.
I mean, that's a small truck to put some furniture
in.
in.
And it was packed in
Yeah,
there.
I could believe. Like,
there
you must have
wasn't
had
much
that bad
room.
boy tied down.
Yeah.
The weight on that thing.
Junior Garcia up the middle, and Ten Shindo got a glove on it, but not enough to make the grab. I'm not sure what the scorer is going to do with that one, but I'm going to put Junior over at first base nonetheless.
I mean, it was a pretty hard hit ball, but that should be gloved up by Ten Shindo. I would think that would be an error on the Energy City Cactus Rats, but still no error shown here on the scoreboard at Gulls Field.
No, I think they gave him a base hit, so I'm going to mark that in there. And if Dave gives him an error, then I'm going to have to erase the hit. So no big deal.
Yeah, okay, they're going to keep it a hit, so as we just got confirmation.
And Michael Quick sends this down foul down the third base line. Yeah, that was, I mean, Junior gets down there pretty good.
Yeah.
And we the 3 catchers that we have, Trip Ray, Cam McLeod, and Junior Garcia. And I think now one of the new guys, too, I think Kyle Lewis says he catches as well, but he prefers outfield.
Yeah, he's prefers center.
All three of those guys, big guys, they can run. All three of them can run. And they all three have power in their bats too. When they hit a ball, it gets hit hard.
Yeah, and we learned that this guy at the plate, the newcomer making his Sylvan Lake Gull debut, can run as well, and Michael Quick.
Yeah. He stole a base, took a walk, stole a base, came around and scored the first run of the game for the Gulls. Back in the second inning. And he gets the bat on this one. Deep to right center, but Elias Campbell slides over and easily makes the catch for the second out of the game. Or the inning, I should say.
Yeah, the outfield's been pretty busy for Energy City. That is ball number 7 already. Or sorry, 6 that they've had to make a play out in the outfield.
Brooks Bachman steps in. He had a base hit and an RBI out of that base hit. An RBI double as he ripped it in the gap in right center. He holds off on that one. That misses outside for a ball. Want to know the count on Bachman. Junior Garcia, the base runner, over at first. And a called strike. The count even at 1-1.
Bachman hitting 300 on the year. He's got 8 RBIs, 1 homer, and 24 hits so far this season. Make that 25 now with the one tonight. And an extra RBI on there as well. That RBI double. But heading into this game, yeah, he's one of the top batters for the Sylvan Lake Gulls.
There seems to be a lot of balance in the Gulls lineup. Guys hitting for average, guys hitting for RBIs, guys hitting for home runs, that sort of thing, and stolen bases. It seems that, there's 4 or 5 guys that can steal a base, and 4 or 5 or 6 maybe even that can put the ball over the fence. Lots of guys that can get a base hit. So it's a nice balance, I think, for the Gulls.
Yeah.
And if they're on, boy, they're dangerous.
That's a good point, because you take a look at their, top batters in average, minus Flores, they're not the type of batters that are driving in runs. Then you take the look at the, the middle of the pack that are, mediocre averages. They're the ones that are driving in the runs, and and so forth. So it's kind of unique to see that some batting averages are doing the job just to get on base, and then some are doing it timely when they need to.
You know what this reminds me of? As Bachman takes the walk, and that'll bring up Rowan O'Connor. It reminds me of like an MLB All-Star game. You've got guys that are coming from different teams. They obviously don't play together, and they could be the number 3 hitter in the lineup of their team, but they're hitting number 7 on this team.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean they're a 7th place hitter. I mean, and I know there's that stigma of he's the 9th hitter, or he's the 8th hitter. They're not very good. Well, no, that's not the case. And out here in this league, you've got guys that maybe were leadoff.
Yeah.
And now they're hitting 2nd or 3rd.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be completely different what they're used to playing down south, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, you look at the Gulls and how they order their batters. They put their DH in that number 8 spot usually. Like, we've seen that DH far down the list.
Yeah, and he's only got 5 home runs and 18 RBIs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good if you're number 8
Yeah,
hitter.
not bad.
Yeah.
So it is weird how they schedule the batters around that.
Yeah, and that's ripped foul. And Rowan O'Connor has that look like, I just missed that one. And he did. He just missed that one. He got good contact on that.
Yeah, he sure did.
And it's kind of the same with the pitching staff. I was talking to Matt Hape, and I said, do you have like you guys slotted in this is going to be my late inning guy. This is going to be, not really the closer, but the guy that will end the game, whether it's a 2-run lead or a 5-run lead, that kind of thing. He says, not really. As a strikeout to bring the inning to a close for Rowan O'Connor. So no runs on a couple of one base hit. The Gulls with a 3-1 lead over the Energy City Cactus Rats. And the Cactus Rats are coming to bat after this. Top of the 4th inning here at Gulls Field at Pagato Park. Timo Aracena with an RBI double to give the Cactus Rats their only run. That gave them a 1-0 lead in the top half of the 1st inning. And it was a well-hit ball. I was going to say golf ball. I don't know why.
Oh, well.
Maybe it's because I didn't hit my
Maybe
golf
because
ball very well this morning.
That might be why.
I'm telling you, that was one of those. If I was a horse, my owner would have shot me after the 9th hole.
Jeez.
Like, oh my goodness, it was terrible.
Oh,
and
and this is
Aracena
absolutely cross. That's gone.
I don't know what he had for lunch, but it sure put a charge into him as he put a charge into that ball. And that's over the right field fence. And Timo Aracena is a one-man show for the Energy City Cactus Rats, as he has both their RBIs, and both were well-hit balls.
That guy can swing a bat. Holy moly.
Yes, he can.
Solo shot brings this game to just within 1 run now.
That'll bring up the first baseman, Zach Barneo, who flied out to right field. And Josh Dolich had him ducking away from that one.
Yeah,
A couple of guys in the bullpen now for the Gulls as Josh is into his 4th inning of work. 54 pitches on the evening, or 55 now, to keep you right up to date.
Yeah, I think that homer sprung a little bit of action in the bullpen. And I literally looked before he hit that ball, nobody was in the bullpen. And then that happened, and Matt Heap sent 2 pitchers over to the bullpen to loosen up. So
And they checked down at first base, and Josh Dolich had his hands up like, what?
Yeah.
How was that not a swing? Yeah, well. Levi Wagner over at first said, nope, it wasn't. And so Dolich says, well, here, I'll put one in the strike zone, see what he does with that. 2-2 the count on Barneo. Ten Shindo, the shortstop, is the batter on deck. And a called 3rd strike. You didn't even have to swing at either of those. And so another K will go up. The backwards K will go up there as Lily has been handed the K, and off it goes onto the fence.
Oh, yeah, there now she's getting the backwards K. She had originally put up a forward K, and then Dad helped her. Way to go, Dad. And that yet again is Matthew and his daughter Lily that are putting up the Ks on the fence. And it looks like Garrett Lundmark is one stretching in the bullpen right now for the Sylvan Lake Gulls.
That pitch inside, and Ken Shinto had to fight that off. And he's down 0-2 right now. As Josh Dolich has 3 strikeouts to his name tonight. He's not an overpowering pitcher.
No.
But he certainly is smooth with his delivery, and he is all around the plate.
He's got a lot of off-speed pitches. I think that's kind of what he likes to throw most of the time. Whereas we've seen, you know, every pitcher's got a different style, obviously, especially in this league. But I know Dolich likes the movement. He's got the movement on that ball a lot. And then you take a look at Leroy Taveras, and his favorite pitch is the cutter.
Yeah.
He cuts a lot of those pitches.
This is grounded down to Yukamoto across the diamond and throws a strike to Matt Brandt for the second out of the inning. Well done there by Matt Brandt. All he had to do is put the target out. And what we learned from Jimmy Peltier is on those throws, they look at the chest.
Yep.
As there's Tai Yukamoto with his sunglasses on.
He's got such an arm. I mean, he can really whip him across the diamond. It's fun to watch.
He's got a pretty good glove, too, from what we've seen so far. Drew Abercrombie steps in now. He had a base hit back in the second, but then was erased in a double play started by Brooks Bachman. Two-0 count on Abercrombie. Nobody on base, 2 down. And he makes like he's going to bunt and offered at it, but I don't think he was serious. The count now 2-1.
Well, the way the Sylvan Lake Gulls have been playing as of late is that's a swing on that pitch, 2-2 the count. You know, in their last 8 games, 7-1 has kept them in 3rd place in the West Division. They are currently tied for the same amount of wins as Lethbridge at 17. However, have played 2 more games than Lethbridge, and so Lethbridge still sits in that 2nd place spot.
Yeah, Lethbridge was.
Division.
I think they had a lot of the rainouts in that week that the Gulls were in Saskatchewan. Lethbridge was facing similar weather down in the southwest or southeast corner of the province. And Abercrombie, with his 2nd base hit of the night for the Cactus Rats, keeps the inning alive as he sends that into right field for a single.
Yeah, a kid from Victoria getting things done as well for Energy City. I mean, him and Timo Aracena are pretty much the only ones that have had success at the plate, and are the only ones that have had any kind of success at the plate for the Energy City Cactus Rats. So they're keeping things interesting.
Well, other than a walk to Dylan Cody.
I thought that was an error, but maybe, yeah.
Oh, no, it was an error,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I got to look closer. That's all.
That's all right.
It'll take me a while. But a ball over to Rowan O'Connor, and he fires it over to Matt Brandt. And that brings the inning to a close. 1 run on 1 big hit, well, 1 big hit, though. And 3-2 Gulls lead it as they come to bat in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Another inning of work for Steele Witchek as he faces Matt Brandt, Aiden Macaris, and Kyle Lewis. The 7, 8, and 9 hitters in the Gulls lineup this evening. Sylvan Lake, 3 runs on 5 hits. Cactus Rats, 2 runs on 4 hits. The Gulls with 1 error. That on an errant throw by the shortstop, Tai Yukamoto. That led to the first run eventually. No one won the count on Matt Brandt. Now 0-2. He had a base hit in the second inning.
Brandt's got 7 RBIs so far on the year. He's walked 15 times, though. That's among the top batters to get on base due to a walk, due to a base on ball. So, you know, some of these guys are, you know, like you said, they're specialized in their own ways. Some guys are specialized with the bats as far as just, you know, base hits. Some are specialized in timely hits with the RBIs. Some are specialized just on getting on base with the OBP, you know, and that's grounded over to the third base. Timo Aracena makes the throw look easy in time.
You know, when what you just described, you know who that reminds me of? All those characteristics? Cleary Simpson.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
I don't know.
That was.
Okay.
I'm telling
there
you.
go.
That
Oh, you're
was his
telling me.
first strikeout. Yeah.
It sounded like a rhetorical question.
You thought I was asking.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
1-1 the count now on Parker Husu, who has struck out and popped up to the catcher, Junior Garcia. 3-2 Gulls lead it here in the 5th. And Lundmark is up 1-2 on the batter Husu. Yeah, I don't think Elias Campbell's going anywhere.
You were so confident. Wow.
Well, I just looked over and saw where his lead was, and unless he's really well, he's pretty fast.
Watch him go now on this next pitch. Now that you
Yeah,
said that,
well,
it's like he's listening to you.
wouldn't be the
Toying
first
you.
time. Yeah. Nostradamus here should be on strike here. As now, I'm not sure if that was a little pitch out action, thinking that Campbell was going to go, but that missed well outside.
I'm getting some instructions from head coach or pitching coach Matt Hape right now as Junior Garcia's been looking over and
Yeah,
Hape's been giving some signals.
I think that's maybe just to keep an eye on the runner at first, and a nice pitch there by Lundmark as he gets back-to-back strikeouts. So
at
now
this
he doesn't
pitch.
have to worry about the double play.
Wow, that was that dropped in a hurry. That had a lot of movement on that pitch.
Yeah, I like that.
Great off speed.
Garrett Lundmark in. This is the first time I've seen him pitch. Have you? No. Has he pitched at home?
He's pitched at home, yeah.
Really?
This is second.
Where was I?
Second game. I have no idea. Couldn't tell you, Jim.
Well, somebody should.
You know what? I will even tell you which game he pitched in.
Okay, you can tell me, and then I'll say, no, I wasn't here.
You know what? There could be a good chance of that happening. It was against Brooks on June 27th when they won 7-2.
Okay, I was here.
So that was part of that 6-game. I think it was just because it was a 6-game stretch. You might have been tired.
Yeah, that's a
That was
strong possibility.
that was game number 4 in a row.
Okay, I still had some energy in game
You might
number
have
4.
you might have had some energy, but
Yeah,
don't know where you were.
I have no idea. I just show up and talk.
But yeah, he came in. He had 2 innings.
Okay.
He only gave up 1 hit, 0 runs.
All right.
Yep. So
Well, thank you for telling me where I was.
hey,
I'm usually told where to go.
no worries. I'm surprised I was here. That was a busy day for me on Friday. That was when I think you were too busy trying to talk about my sunburn. You might have forgot that Garrett
Oh, is
Lundmark
that
was
what
on the
that
mound.
was?
That might have been it.
That was the Red Hot Chili
That was
Pepper day.
that was Red Hot Chili Pepper night.
Okay.
Yeah.
0-1 the count on the dangerous Timo Aracena, who's got both RBIs for the Cactus Rats. An RBI double in the first and a solo home run in the 4th over the right field wall.
And you wonder why Matt Hape came out to the mound for a visit. Probably to remind them, this is that guy.
Yeah. And his little hit and run on there. They count 1-2 on Aracena.
Your buddy Elias Campbell was going for a steal on that one.
I don't know if he was stealing.
You don't think so?
I think it was
He
a
was
hit
just
and run.
a hit and run. Okay.
Yeah. I'm giving up on Elias stealing days. Sorry, Elias.
Yeah. He's got feelings, you know.
Well, I apologize. I take it back. I just think, you know what? He's content staying over at first and be, battered around. You do you. The 1-2 pitch here on Aracena with 2 down and runners on first and third. That misses outside for a ball. The count even, 2 runs, or 2 hits, I should say. 2 runs is right. 2 outs, 2 strikes, 2 balls. And 3 strikeouts in a row for Garrett Lundmark. Does a fine job here to keep the Cactus Rats off the scoreboard. here in the 5th inning, as they had the first 2 batters come to the plate and get base hits, and it amounts to nothing with Garrett Lundmark getting the strikeouts. Another inning of work for the young man who started the game for the Cactus Rats, Steele Whitcheck. As he is into the 5th inning, 69 pitches, so, he's still got a little left. He'll face Simon Baker. No, he won't face Simon Baker. He'll face Tai Yukamoto, who was at the plate when who got thrown out? Kyle Lewis got thrown out over at second base. So that makes sense.
He will face Simon Baker on deck, though.
Yep. Eventually he will, yeah.
1, 2, 3 batters.
It's inevitable.
Yukamoto, Baker, Garcia. Lead things off here in this bottom half of the 5th inning.
The sun continues to shine.
Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous night here for Independence Day, July 4th, 2025. Fans loving it too, as you can see everybody just in good spirits. It's a weekend is kicking off here in Sylvan Lake at the ballpark. I'm going to head out to the mountains tomorrow.
Are you?
Supposed to be a decent day. Yeah, going to Kananaskis.
Okay.
To do a little bit of golfing.
No. They got golf out there?
Oh. Right where the G7 happened.
They're letting you in now.
Yeah, you can go there now. Wonder if they got any cool pictures hanging up with Donald Trump and some other world leaders. Saw a couple online.
That would have been nice if they would have set up a bunch of foursomes with all the world leaders and had them all golf at Kananaskis.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
That would be neat.
Would have been a nightmare for the Secret Service guys.
Yeah.
Like, how do you cover a golf course?
Yeah. It'd be
2 golf
tricky,
courses.
especially in the middle of the bush like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck.
And Yukamoto sends this out to left field. Dylan Cody just can't keep that hat on.
Yeah. He needs to tighten that thing up.
He needs a strap.
He
makes the play anyway. Snapback, yeah.
He needs a snapback hat. That's what he needs.
Anyway, that'll bring up the aforementioned Simon Baker, who's 0 for 2 on the night. A fly out and a ground out. Both hits to the left-hand side of the field.
Simon Baker, 270 on the year, 89 at-bats ahead of this game. He's got 17 RBIs. He is among the top leaders in RBIs, right behind Aiden Macaris. He's got 24 hits and 4 homers.
Ooh. That looked a little bit outside, but Whitcheck got the call. And the count now 1-1 on Baker, with 1 down here in the top or bottom of the 5th inning. And Baker rips this down to 10 Shindo. He fires a strike across the diamond. And for the second time, a ground out to the shortstop for Simon Baker. That'll bring up the catcher, Junior Garcia, as you see the replay. Thank you very much by the folks at Hearthstone. I looked over to see your little quote there on how you're supposed to say that, and I looked over and I see FloCollege, AJ, Dogs, okay, Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. I'm going, okay, none of that says. There it is, Hearthstone Property Management replay.
Yeah, Hearthstone Property Management, yeah. Well, I feel bad because I had my American flag covering my whiteboard over here, so my apologies.
Well, I should know that. I should know that. So, Junior Garcia with a foul ball down the left field line. Not sure if he's aiming for his truck or mine.
Yeah, hopefully neither.
Yeah, hopefully neither.
My car's over there too, you know.
Like, put that over the, somewhere in the fair side of that line, okay, Junior?
Yeah, get some good jogging from Cleary Simpson over in the foul territory there. That's looking good.
Yeah, he wants to run. He's working on that leg.
I was talking to him. He said it's feeling good.
Yeah.
You know, he's when I talked to him a few games ago, he thinks probably only 2 weeks or so.
Wow. That would be nice.
Like, it's coming quick. Like, he should be here just in time for, end of season ball and playoff ball.
That would be a bonus.
Yeah.
To have him in the lineup once the playoffs start.
Well, and as soon as postseason starts, as you know, in this league, that's kind of the crucial time where you need guys like him to step up and be able to fill in, because guys go back to their colleges and universities.
They do.
Around that time, so.
And Junior just about lands that fair.
You just can't find a way to just not pull around on it too much. He's done that a lot lately. And
I asked him about that the other night, and I said, that inside pitch, he says, I know. He says, the guy throws me inside, he says, I'm turning on it. And that's what he does. He says, I just got to get the barrel out there just a hair earlier, and then it's a base hit and not a foul ball.
Yeah, that was close.
That was close. 2-2 the count on Junior Garcia, the juggler.
"13 pitches in this inning for
Whitcheck.
Yep.
Oh, and Junior goes the opposite direction, and unfortunately, it's right at Kenyon Sanders. Not right at him, he had to move a little bit, but that is the third out of the inning for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. 5 complete, 3-2, Gulls lead it.
Welcome back to Gulls Baseball on FloCollege, brought to you by visitsylvanlake.ca. You got Jim Claggett, Cale Clark up here in the Gulls Nest in the broadcast booth, watching this one just like you are at home. Glad to have you tuning in on your Friday night. Happy 4th of July, fans. It is a 3-2 ball game here at Gulls Field, favoring the Sylvan Lake Gulls. It is the top of the 6th inning. As on the mound still is Garrett Lundmark, and the first pitch he has number 37, Zach Barneo, swinging.
He struck out the side last inning, so no surprise he starts off with a strike.
Yeah. And in the break, we saw Snapman doing his typical race after 5 complete innings, and it was an absolute close run. I don't think it could have been any closer. It was a tie.
Oh, okay.
And as we take a look at the Hearthstone Property Management replay, you could tell Snapman was doing everything he could to get back, and just, okay, maybe not. No. Okay, now that we got the replay in slow-mo, it was the challenger that ended up winning that race.
Yeah, that's 2 in a row now Snapman has lost.
Yeah.
And the other one, it wasn't even close.
But in real time, it looked like a tie.
Yeah, and that was good.
That was a great race.
Good work, guys. Get that replay. I love it.
Not gonna lie, I was not expecting a replay on that run, so that was good.
Okay, swing, a foul, hit him. All sorts of things going on in that play right there, folks. But it remains 1-2 the count on Zach Barneo. 0 for 2 on the night. The Gulls lead the Cactus Rats here in the top of the 6th inning. Garrett Lundmark with his 4th strikeout in a row.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Take a look at this pitch, and again, it's got some.
He's got some
movement
on that.
Yeah. Cuts down nicely.
Yeah. Ten Shindo steps in. A couple of ground outs to his record. Well, I'm glad the K-Man is back, or the K family, I guess, because you got Matt and Lily. They're busy for their first game. 7 strikeouts up on the board there. And good job there by Junior Garcia to bring that kind of back towards the plate and get the call. 1-2 the count now on Ten Shindo. And let's make that 5 strikeouts in a row for Garrett Lundmark.
I think Lundmark's in a little bit of a jam right now. Feeling it?
He's
good jam,
focused.
that is. You know, good jam. I know jam doesn't
Oh, I love
usually
jam.
sound
Peach.
necessarily always that great, but no, peach jam.
Peach mango.
I like how we sidetracked there so quickly.
Oh, it's easy.
It is easy. That's good stuff. Yeah, 5 Ks. He's feeling it. He's moving along quite nicely.
Drew Abercrombie steps in. He's got a couple of base hits between him and Timo Aracena. They're the guys that are doing the damage.
Yeah, they were the only guys up until the last inning when Kenyon Sanders and Elias Campbell let things off with a couple base hits. But this is grounded over to Rowan O'Connor, and he makes the play in time to Matt Brandt. But after some incredible work from this guy, Garrett Lundmark, as he has just been feeling it lately. 5 straight Ks in a row, and 2 of them in this inning. That will do it for the top of this inning. We'll be back at the bottom of 6. Well, in the break, we had Sully, the goalie, thinking it's still his birthday today, and he got a little excited. Popped off the cannon. And yeah, I got a little talking to there from Wally, wearing his bright colors, the American flag jersey. I love it. And they were playing a game of What's in the Box.
What was in the box?
And I honestly don't know.
I don't either.
From up here, couldn't tell you. However, I could tell you that the contestant went home with a nice gift card to MGM Ford Lincoln, which is tonight's game night sponsor.
Well, thank you, MGM Ford Lincoln.
Absolutely.
0-1 the count on Michael Quick. Steele Whitcheck still in the game, 84 pitches on his ledger.
I can actually say a lot of great things about MGM Ford Lincoln. They just have treated me really great ever since I've been there. I have my Lincoln from MGM Lincoln, and when I get my vehicle serviced there, they not only do the oil change, but they'll give me a loaner if I book in advance of a vehicle. So I had a loaner the other day. This is flown out to left field, running onto it. Is the very speedy Dylan Cody getting there in time.
He covered a lot of ground in a short period of time, didn't he?
Yeah, he sure did.
And guess what? He lost his hat.
Yeah, go figure. That's his 4th catch of the night.
Yeah, he got there in he got there quick. He got quickly.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, MGM Ford Lincoln, great place to go if you ever need to get an oil change or anything else done. Got a loaner, so that's for Lincoln. Obviously, I don't want to give anybody false hope because I'm a Lincoln owner, so they do things a little different. When you're a Lincoln owner, you got your own concierge. You get a free detail, free car wash.
Really?
Oil gets changed. You come back, your car's clean, inside's clean.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's a pretty good service.
Are you in commission there?
Yeah, no. I should
you
be.
You and the drinks?
Yeah, I should be. Seriously.
Okay.
I could make a killing.
I should be.
I spent a lot of money there, though, just 2 days ago. Almost $1,000 I dropped on my car.
Ouch.
Yeah.
But you had to get it all tuned up.
It needed some tuning up, especially ahead of this big BC road trip that I'm about to do. Yeah, needed to make sure things were prim and proper.
2-0 the count on Brooks Bachman. He's been on base twice. A double and a walk. Scored a run, or knocked in a run. Scored a run. He's had a busy night. And Rowan O'Connor is the batter on deck. One down here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 3-2 Gulls lead it, as the pitchers have taken over since the 2nd inning.
Yeah, it's been a close game.
And that outside corner is gold for Steele Whitcheck. Evens the count at 2-2 on Bachman. And a strikeout there for Whitcheck.
Same
with the
pitch.
second out of the inning.
He went to that same pitch down and away as you take a look at the Hearthstone Property Management replay. And yeah, that's been called all night. And of course, Brooks Bachman had to take a swing at it. He knew if he didn't, that would have been probably a called strike looking. So
yeah, and if they're going to call that pitch all night, then fair enough. And the batters need to be aware of that. So of course the catchers are aware of it. They keep putting the glove out there. That comes inside on Rowan O'Connor. A single back in the 2nd, and he struck out in the 3rd.
still no action really in the bullpen for Energy City, especially when this guy's getting up to 93 pitches now. That's kind of a surprise a little bit to me, isn't it? I mean, you'd think somebody would at least be warming up by now. And there's just no sign of life right now in the Energy City bullpen.
They're not doing anything right now.
Like, does Jordan Blundell realize that his pitcher's at 93?
I'm pretty sure he does.
Yeah.
he has a plan, I'm sure. And O'Connor sends this deep in the hole to Ten Shindo, and I think
Yeah, it's safe.
Rowan O'Connor beat him out. Yeah, this one I don't think. I mean, the other one was kind of close. I think this one, he got him by half a step there. And boom. Yeah, that was some good hustle by Rowan O'Connor down the baseline. And Jordan Blundell is out now, and he's having a little discussion with first place umpire Levi Wagner.
I would love to be a fly buzzing around that conversation right now.
Well, I've planted a seed of maybe at some point miking up our first base umpire or first base coach, because they talk to everybody, especially Cam Diaz. He talks to everybody, and that would be kind of cool. But you would get some of that first base umpire conversation too if he just kind of hung around. It's like, oh, wait a minute, we might have to beep some of that out. Anyways, Matt Brandt steps in to face Steele Witchek with 2 down here, and a base runner and Rowan O'Connor over at first. And he had a pretty healthy lead over there. I would not be surprised to see him take off.
Yeah, 2 outs.
In the next pitch or two. Like, look at, he's
Oh
got.
yeah, his back foot is at the cutout.
Yeah, that's a big lead. And they thought so too.
Yeah.
They said, wait a minute, he's out there a little bit.
I was kind of waiting for it. I mean, you could just see that Zach Barneo he's ready for it. He's ready for that throw. And he even had a bigger lead there. That was a good throw again by Witchek. I mean, Rowan O'Connor took at least another extra step or two than he previously did last play.
He's right back out there. He's getting back good enough, so he's kind of reading Witchek and when he makes that move. There he goes. And that's going to ray out in the right field. And if he gets up.
No, he's going to stay there.
He didn't look to see where the ball was.
Like he
would have been a third.
Yeah, if he stayed on his feet, he would have been for sure a third. But of course, how do you know, right? When you're as a runner, your head is just to the bag. You're not worrying about what the throw's doing. You're just worried about getting there first. And yeah, and then even that facial expression says it all. He kind of winced and he's like, yeah, I should have maybe just taken a look and I could have kept going, but that'll prompt a little visit on the mound from the pitching coach of the Energy City Cactus Rats. So maybe that'll just be enough time to get somebody starting to get loose in the Cactus Rats bullpen.
There's a couple of guys. You can't see it on the camera, but there's a guy loosening his arms out. He's outside of the camera shot here.
That guy was just having a good chill area, sitting down, hanging out.
I'm good.
Chilling in the bullpen.
I'm good. You need me to do what? I gotta go in? I was kind of relaxed.
That pitching coach has big shoes. He's got some monster flippers on him.
Couple of.
Like those have to be 14 at least.
Oh wow!
Like those things look huge. Good for him.
Okay.
Yeah. I just noticed, like, just walking back to the dugout, I'm like, man, that guy's got some big feet on him.
Checking out his footwear.
I guess. It's hard not to from up here. They're flashy. They're that big.
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot. Yeah, seriously. Sorry I had to point that out, but I just, yeah.
2-1 the count on Matt Brandt. He's still at bat after quite a few throws over to first. As the Gulls are trying to get an insurance run here. And Brandt watches that get that inside corner on the righties, the outside corner on the lefties, and that pitch has been a strike all night long, according to the home plate umpire, Clayton Wandler. So 2-2 the count. Rowan O'Connor over at second. That misses up inside. The count now full. Aiden Macaris is the batter on deck. Matt Brandt trying to bring in Rowan O'Connor.
Be his second RBI of the night.
And he misses outside with that, so a walk brings a new batter up to face Steele Whitcheck, who is at 100 pitches on the night. I don't think he's going to last much longer. In fact, I think if he gets out of this inning, he's done for the night.
Yeah,
So
I would think so.
then again, he could come out for the next inning too. So we'll see. Oh, ripped foul by Macaris.
Aiden Macaris's girlfriend's parole officer, for those that don't know, by the way. They both live here in Sylvan Lake.
Okay. A parole officer.
Yeah,
Wow. So be on your best behavior.
exactly. Keeps him in line, I bet.
I bet. He's a guitar player. I got to find out what kind of music he likes to play, though.
Smoke on the Water.
That'd be cool.
Well, that's usually one of the easier songs to learn on
Is it?
guitar. One of the first songs you learn is Smoke on the Water.
I cannot play any instrument at all. Of course, in school, in elementary school, everybody got a recorder.
Yeah, you record.
And I could play three blind mice like nobody's business. But
Maybe we should test that, see if you still got it.
that got no. That got really, really lame really fast. Family, come on, Jimmy, play three blind mice. Yeah, okay, yeah, for the 90th time, Grandma, take your hearing aid off. You don't have to listen to this anymore. Inside, count 3-1 now on Macaris. With Kyle Lewis on deck. And Steele Whitcheck trying to get the final out and give his team a chance to come at bat by only down 1 in the 7th inning. But this inning's not done yet. There's a long wait there as he gets the signal from Hunter Ferguson. And a swing and a miss there. 3-2 the count. And both runners will be going on this pitch. So they're going to get a nice jump. With a full count on Macaris, looking to get a base hit and an RBI. And he fouls it off as both runners did take off.
Yeah, just enough. A late swing on that. Went right off the tip of the bat. He had just got a piece of it.
Yeah. "106 pitches for the young man, Steve Whitcheck.
Nevada City, California kid on the mound.
And a called third strike on Aiden Macaris brings the inning to a close. No runs. On one base hit, they strand 2 base runners, and the Gulls carry a 3-2 lead into the 7th inning over the Cactus Rats. And I don't know, are we sticking around for this? Because I think this is the pie eating contest they're setting up for here. Just to the right of home plate. You can see that table there. I guess, Calvin, are we staying here? Okay, thank you. I got a sure. Might as well. Let's see some pie
Let's do
eating.
Some play-by-play on the
What
plot.
kind of
on
what
the
kind
pie.
of pie is it?
I
I
don't
wonder.
know.
Well, they're not very big.
No, they're
Well,
just baby size.
That's
pies.
one bite.
Yeah. Well, you got to be somewhat nice. You got to keep things moving along. Be kind of offensive if it was Saskatoon, wouldn't it?
I'm not passing judgment, but these two guys, these two contestants on this side, look like they haven't walked away from a pie in a while.
Oh, here we go. Guys' sunglasses are off. Meanwhile, the one guy's just using his hands, getting right in there.
We got the ladies on the other side.
Ladies are going on the other side here, yeah. See what
There
they
they
can
go.
do. Oh, yeah, they're
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
right into it.
Actually, that is a pretty big piece.
Oh, my.
That's a pretty big pie.
Yeah, I
guess.
wouldn't be able to eat all that.
Oh, I would.
Not that fast.
I
anyway.
could.
Man, this guy is just mowing. Look at this, just fisting it with his hand. He's gonna win for sure.
He's like Joey the hot dog guy, you know.
That guy's kind of careful.
Oh,
on the
he's
right
very.
side.
He's being too neat.
Yeah, he's just like.
He's enjoying the
what-
pie.
Yeah,
This guy's saying, "I want to win."
He's like, I came for
Yeah.
the enjoyment of the free food.
I came to win. You can enjoy your chocolate. It looks like a chocolate cream pie.
What do you get? Just a T-shirt? Is that all he got? That lady's like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm done.
I don't want any
Yeah,
more.
no more pie.
I'm
She
full.
says, "I'm out."
I'm full.
Tap out.
Thanks though. Looks like good pie though.
Yeah,
That looks. Yeah.
that was good.
You know.
Thanks for sticking around. That was entertaining.
Now go get washed up.
Yeah, you got a little something on your chin
Yeah.
there.
Yep. All right. Well, we have some other games going on around the league here. It is 3-2. The Sylvan Lake Gulls lead it here after 6 complete innings. And we take a look at around the league. Fort McMurray hosting Medicine Hat. The Mavericks up 5-4, bottom of the 7th there. Brooks Bombers up 7-4 over the Lethbridge Bulls. That's top of 6. Okotoks Dogs down 4-3 against Swift Current, which is in the bottom of the 7th. And then the bottom of the 6th, Moose Jaw Miller Express beating the Saskatoon Berries. Speaking of berry pie, Berries are down 8-7. So there's your out-of-town scoreboard, folks. Saskatoon Berries, you know, they are just looking so good this year.
They're red hot.
They are.
And the team's pretty good, too.
Ah.
Oh, you weren't talking about the crop of
No.
berries?
Yeah, no, not quite.
Oh, okay.
24-3 is what the record is.
My mind's on food right now watching that pie eating
That's fair.
contest.
That's fair. Touche.
This is skied, and Rowan O'Connor's got a beat on it and makes the catch on Hunter Ferguson, is retired as the first out here in the 7th inning. Have you ever been in a food eating contest?
No. No.
No.
I'm not one that eats fast. In fact, I've always been the kid that eats the slowest.
Okay, me too.
My friends still will chirp me every now and then because I am always the last to finish.
You know what you tell them?
What's that? I'm enjoying my food.
No, well, you enjoy your food, yeah, but
I can actually taste it.
digestion starts in the mouth. So if you chew your food properly,
Yeah.
you will digest it easier in your stomach.
Oh yeah.
And
Obviously, yeah. Why would yeah? And
yeah. And plus, I like to taste my
I
food
like to
going
taste
down.
it. Exactly.
Yeah. You know, 1-1 the count is Garrett Lundmark with 5 straight strikeouts in the 5th, and 3 in the 5th and 2 in the 6th. He's looking to add to that strikeout total.
I will tell you this, the last thing I was in kind of a contest for was at work, which was just about a week and a half ago. And it was how many marshmallows we could fit in my mouth.
Okay, I got a story about that. Not marshmallows.
Okay.
But putting. Okay. So this guy that went to school, University of Manitoba, he's a football player, Doug McIver. And he was at a bar one night, and a guy bet him he couldn't put 5 pool balls in his mouth.
Pool balls.
Pool balls, you know, pool?
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
That's kind of gross.
Yeah.
That's really
Well,
gross.
what
kind of, like,
okay,
were
he's
they at least?
He's a football player.
Yeah, but were they at his house or they?
No, it was at a bar. It was at a bar. And he put all 5 in his
Good.
mouth. He
That's
put
dis-
all 5.
That's exactly. How do you, like Calvin just said earlier, how do you get 1 in your mouth, let alone 5?
No.
What the heck?
Why would you put 1 in your mouth?
Well, that's
is the
first
better
and foremost,
question.
Yes. Like the amount of hands that touch those balls and
He played.
like
I think he
that
played-
guy. That's where COVID was invented, probably.
He was a D lineman, guys. Okay,
Unreal.
figure that out. Okay, they're crazy. D linemen are nuts. I love them. They're great guys. He played for Saskatchewan and for Winnipeg. He was a Winnipeg boy, University of Manitoba grad. And maybe it wasn't 5. I think it was 4. It would have been 4.
Still.
Two on either side. Looked like a chipmunk.
Well, yeah.
And a strikeout number 6 for Garrett Lundmark. So a little tougher than marshmallows, I guess, but same principle.
At least marshmallows you can try to squish down, but the marshmallows that they made us try to stuff in our face were the jumbo-sized ones.
Oh, of course.
So
maybe the mini ones.
No, these are jumbo, like as big as they get. So
okay.
I got 3. I could barely get 1. 1 took like majority of the room in my mouth. I couldn't,
And you couldn't chew, right?
No,
to
can't
bring
chew.
them down in
No,
size.
No,
yeah.
you can't chew. And yeah, I 1 on each side, and then I tried to. I did everything I could to shove the 1 right in between the 2, and I couldn't close my mouth.
So you didn't win.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, you tried.
Yeah.
I give you kudos for trying.
Yeah, well, it's the
How's
last
that?
time I'll do it, that's for sure.
It was a traumatic experience, was it?
I didn't like it.
Have you had marshmallows since then?
No, I probably won't.
No?
I'm not a marshmallow guy. Not raw marshmallow. Like, I can maybe have one over the fire.
It's marshmallow.
But
it's great.
I can't eat them raw.
Oh, I used to. My mom would buy a strikeout number 7 for Garrett Lundmark.
Get that guy some marshmallows.
Yeah, get him a marshmallow and some pie. Anyway, we are through 6.5 innings here. Gulls hanging on to a 3-2 lead as Garrett Lundmark gets the congratulations. And that might be his last inning.
That was the handshake, yep.
Yeah, out with the handshake. So that's his last inning of work for the Gulls. They'll have a new pitcher coming in to start the 8th inning when we come back.
Archer Blumenshine, the new pitcher on the mound, coming in relief for Steele Witchek, who had a heck of a game. I mean, he has really done a good job in 6 straight innings. Only given up the 3 runs and 6 hits, but really shut the door after that 2nd inning on the Sylvan Lake Gulls and had over 104 pitches, or 5 pitches, I should say, on the night.
Yeah, he did a good job. He did a good job. And now it's up to Blumenshine to keep them within striking distance. And leading things off is the number 9 hitter, Kyle Lewis, who's 0 for 2 on the night. Oh, no, wait a minute. He's 1 for 2 because he did have a base hit. Then he got thrown out over at second base on a good play by Hunter Ferguson and an even better tag by Drew Abercrombie. 1-1 the count, or 1-2, I should say, on the count to Kyle Lewis. Then the top of the order, Tai Yukamoto and Simon Baker. Gulls looking to get some insurance runs here as the Cactus Rats just won't go away. They're hanging tough against the Sylvan Lake Gulls tonight.
Well, and they played good against the Sylvan Lake Gulls already this year. They have, I mean, like I said, they're down 2-1 in the series this year so far against the Gulls. However, all 3 of those games have been close, very, very close. Gulls have had to earn their wins against this Cactus Rats team. You definitely can't count them out at any point.
And Lewis gets underneath that, drives it out into center field, and Elias Campbell takes charge and takes the ball for the first out in the 7th inning. Elias Campbell covers an awful lot of ground. He made a great catch up against the wall.
Yeah, earlier on in this game.
Early in this game. Was that?
I think that was back in the first inning, was it
that
not?
Was Junior Garcia. hit a bomb out there, I think.
Yeah.
Tai Yukamoto steps in now. Talking to Tai in the dressing room earlier tonight, and I said, you look pretty happy about that base hit. He goes, oh yeah. The other night. And he says, I'm just kind of get into it. I said, it's kind of like riding a bike, isn't it? He goes, yep. So he's back into the groove sort of thing. Defensively, for sure. The bat maybe is a little quiet right now. 0-2 the count. And he fouls that back to stay alive against Archer Blumenshine. Or Blumenshine. Evens the count, or puts the count at 1-2. Just looking, the clouds are slowly creeping in from the southwest, but not enough to do any damage right now.
No, I think we're going to be all right.
I think, didn't I say around, they could start raining around 10:30? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're pretty close to that. Or we'll be close to that. 9:21, so you got to hold off for another 40 minutes there, Mother Nature, if you would be so kind. We'll give you a chocolate cream pie or some marshmallows.
Is that the pie they were eating down there?
I don't know.
No.
That's what I thought it was. But
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. We'll have to find out. Melissa would know. Or Marissa, I should say. Oh, there's that outside pitch that Clayton Wandler has been calling a strike all night long, folks. You just can't look at that pitch. As that is.
That one was a little bit further away, I think, but
he's been calling it for both sides like that. So if you've been up there and you know that pitch is out there, you better probably take a cut at it.
as Lionel Richie would say, all night long.
Is that what he would say?
That's what he'd sing.
Commodores. Simon Baker fouls that off towards the Gulls bullpen.
He's been weirdly quiet tonight. 0-3 at the plate.
Yeah.
Just grounded the shortstop twice. And flown out to left field once.
The left side of the diamond has been where he's been hitting the ball. I think he needs to pull one.
Yeah, and especially with the way the wind is blowing right now. It's kind of blowing from the east to the west, so that would favor a pulled hit for Baker. If he can turn on this ball. But as you can see, a lot of these pitchers are pitching away from the batters.
Yeah, they are. They put in that outside corner.
They haven't been pitching on the end. Well, I think it's because they find out that Clayton Wander's kind of giving them the benefit of the doubt on that outside pitch. They're not wanting to steer away from it.
Well, he does pull it down the first baseline, and Zach Barreo teams up with Blumenshine and makes the flip, and they get the out. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. 7 innings are in the books, and the Gulls hanging on to a 3-2 lead as we go to the 8th.
Garrett Lundmark, 7 Ks on the evening in a few innings of work. Had a terrific night on the mound for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. So, you know, hats off to you, Mr. Lundmark. But as we take a look at what he's got and what he had tonight, it's just K after K after K, 5 of them being in a row. And he got a lot of love from the crowd here at Gulls Field, and even some love from his teammates, as it was just wheeling and dealing for Mr. Garrett Lundmark tonight. And the K family was happy as he got the handshakes after. So that brings in on the mound Big Vess. Nick Veselinovic is on the mound. It's the first time I think I actually said his name right for once. And he's going to face the top of the batting order, Dylan Cody, who is 0 for 2 on the evening.
And, you know, if the Cactus Rats think, oh, good, that Lundmark guy is out, maybe we can get something going here.
Yeah,
nah, it doesn't drop off when Big Vess is in there pitching. So 1-1 the count on Dylan Cody. Here in the 8th inning, Gulls trying to hang on and squeeze out a 3-2 win over the Cactus Rats. So my inside information wasn't so inside. Chocolate cream pie.
Okay.
Oh, I would have scarfed that in 2 seconds.
Nice.
That is one of my favorites. One of my favorites. Those people wouldn't have stood a chance. Sorry. I would have inhaled that in.
Yeah, that'd be good. What kind of crust is on that? A chocolate crust too, or is it a normal
No,
crust?
it's probably just a normal crust. Wouldn't even matter. Calvin's got all sorts of ideas about what the food. McCain cakes. That's fouled off gently towards the Cactus Rats dugout. 1-2 the count on the leadoff hitter, Dylan Cody. He started things off with a single and came around and scored a run. And this is right back to the mound. Big Vess underhands it towards Matt Brandt. And that's the first out of the inning right there.
Great play by Big Vess there. Just a routine play from the pitcher, taking it himself in his own hands, and just make sure with a nice underhand toss to Matt Brandt. Shout out to Big Vess's parents, by the way, who were here visiting, and they were taking in some baseball and watching some games, and now they are back at home and watching probably from the comfort of their couch. So shout out to them, as they have always been big supporters of the Sylvan Lake Gulls and their son, Big Vess.
Always pleasure meeting you guys, and you know we didn't have a whole lot of time to visit, but when we did, it was quality time.
Yep,
as they say. And Papa Vess, I believe, is a dentist, and he told me about rubbing vitamin E oil or cream on my my wound here, and when the doctor took the stitches out today, said the exact same thing. I said, I've heard about that. And you'll never know, you'll never guess where. And she goes, where? I said, at our baseball game. She goes, what? And that's right back up the middle. Parker Husu with his first hit of the night. Singles right back up the middle off that pitch.
Better late than never that Energy City's starting to get some hitting from the guys that have yet to hit tonight, especially with Timo Aracena coming to the plate, who's had nothing but luck other than that last inning of back in the 5th where he struck out as part of Garrett Lundmark's 5 straight strikeouts. So that's kind of what you need from Energy City right now, that you're not just looking to 1 or 2 guys doing all the hitting for you. Now you're starting to get a little bit more of that depth hitting from down the line.
That's fouled out of play. The count 1-1 on Timo Aracena. Base runner over at first in Parker Husu. Cactus Rats with 1 in the first inning and then 1 more in the 4th. The Gulls with 3 in the second, and that's where we stand. 3-2 Sylvan Lake. A lot of zeros up on the board. And a good part of that was, as you mentioned, Garrett Lundmark with 7 strikeouts on the night, 5 in a row. There you go, folks. 6 hits for the Gulls, 7 for the Cactus Rats. But the Gulls are up 1 where it counts, and that's on the score. Two and two the count on Timo Aracena. 2 RBIs for the Cactus Rats. A double and a solo home run over the right field wall. And he rips this down to Brooks Bachman, who fires it to O'Connor, and the double play, the second one of the night, the same combination as Bachman to O'Connor, and then over to Brent. Not BTO, but B-O-B. Bob. There we go. Bob's still around. I'm trying to do my acronyms. Anyway, no runs on 1 hit and nobody left on base. I'm out of here. Okay, good night, folks.
Well, this busy stretch of 9 home games in 11 nights will have finally come to an end here tonight. The Gulls now take flight and will head on the road up to Fort McMurray, where they got a pair of games against the Giants on July 5th and July 6th. Before then, 2 days later, heading down to Brooks the opposite way to take on the Bombers. Also going on at Gulls Field later on this month is movie night. Inside Out 2 will be playing here at Gulls Field. And look at that, free admission, everybody. So just bring a lawn chair, bring some popcorn, bring some marshmallows, maybe bring some chocolate pie. Enjoy it. Enjoy the movie.
Bring some pool balls.
Well, if you're weird like that, sure.
Yeah. Whatever turns you on.
Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, there it is.
Or whatever Jim just said that I'm not going to repeat. Oh, boy.
Well, why not?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
There was nothing nasty about that.
No. It's all good. It's a weird word to use.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It's, yeah. Sure. Whatever works. That's all I'm going to say.
Sorry, I seem to have flustered you.
I don't know. It's weird.
I don't know.
All right.
I don't know about that. All right. Junior Garcia is the batter here. He's hit the ball hard, but it's generally been at somebody.
He did get a base hit back in the third, though.
He did.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. Both balls heading out to the outfield.
He leads things off here against Archer Blumenshine. And Blumenshine with the off-speed pitch gets Junior well out in front of that one for the first out of the night, or of the inning, I should say. That'll bring up Michael Quick. Got a walk, and then he's flied out to center and flied out to left field. Quick try to hold up on that swing, and pretty much went all the way through.
Mm-hmm. Already in his debut, he's got a couple fans here in the crowd. I heard a couple Michael chants.
Okay. It doesn't take long for these fans to embrace these guys.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like they're knowledgeable enough. They know these guys. They know what their their thing is, speed or power or good glove or strikeouts, that they understand this game. They're knowledgeable fans here in Sylvan Lake.
Yeah, Michael looked back right away. He's like, oh, really? Is that a strike? And it's been getting called a lot tonight, so yeah, you can best believe it. That would have been a great cricket pitch. Might have gone through the wickets.
Now I got to ask, at the end of the game, I'm going to ask Michael Quick if he's a Reggie Jackson fan. I mean, I say Reggie Jackson because he's wearing number 44.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen, I don't think I've seen anybody wear number 44 in this team. Have you? Do you remember anybody wearing 44? There must be some significance to this. I'm going to ask him.
Yeah, I can't say if I have.
Yeah. Full count on Michael Quick with one down here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Quick takes the walk to bring a base runner there for Brooks Bachman, who had 2 base hits and a strikeout. So he's 2 for 3 on the night. And an RBI as well.
Last season we had a 40, we had a 41. Warren.
Okay, yeah. I don't think I've seen anybody wear
Summer of
44.
2023.
I could be wrong.
Again, we had a 40 and a 41.
That misses down low. Now I remember, I'm not sure what game it was, but Archer Blumenshine came in and just shut the door on the Sylvan Lake Gulls, and he's kind of doing the same thing now. Throw over to first as Michael Quick, who has a stolen base tonight. And he's got a pretty decent lead over there too. I think he's going. Well, I get 50-50 chance of being right.
I was going to say you're 0 for how many now?
I don't know, 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about right.
But you are right on one thing, and you know what that is that this is the first time seeing a Gull wear number 44.
There, that's a win. 1-1 the count on Bachman, the third baseman. He's had a good night with the bat and a good night with the glove, as he's teamed up with Rowan O'Connor for a couple of double plays to get his pitchers out of a jam.
Really liked Bachman's game tonight. It's been super solid, and yeah, 2 double plays are all thanks to him getting it started with great throw, great fielding.
And that's the hard double play, I guess, if you want it. 3 from third base to second base,
5 forward
to first.
3, yeah.
And there goes Michael Quick as Bachman sends this into
back.
left field.
Oh.
A little bit of a snow cone out there in left field by
just
Dylan Cody. But his hat stayed on.
Hat stayed on this time, but maybe a little too much of a finesse at the end.
Oh, yeah.
And it almost cost him.
That almost came out of his glove.
Yeah, he tried to kind of finesse it a little too much, a little too flashy maybe.
Yeah.
That almost cost Energy City a base hit.
Yeah. Somebody's giving him the gears because he's smiling.
And
he's waving at the bullpen. That's who it was.
Yeah, he got away with that one.
I bet you Kai Rempel's over there probably giving him the gears.
Oh, I would think someone is, yeah.
Or Hunter Jones or one of those guys.
Any of the guys in the bullpen, guaranteed, yeah.
Yeah. I saw it was in a Blue Jays game, and Vladimir Guerrero did that because he takes that foul ball and then he snaps his glove.
Yeah.
And he shut it a little too quick, and the ball came out. And
I've seen that too, actually. Yeah.
It's like, oops.
Oh. Just got back in time. That was close.
That was a close play over at first.
Michael Quick almost got caught out in first there in no man's land.
So Rowan O'Connor with a base hit back in the third inning. but he's been quiet since then. A strikeout. Oh no, actually, look at your game sheet, Jim. He's 2 for 3. Stolen base, scored a run. Never mind what I just said. I need an assistant. Somebody to keep me on track. 0-2 the count on Rowan O'Connor. And he skies this one out to shallow left field, and the shortstop gets called off. Ten Shindo gets called off by Dylan Cody, who lost his hat again. Anyway, the inning comes to a close with that catch out in left field. No runs on no hits. 1 man left on base. We are 8 complete in the books. Gulls with a 3-2 lead over the Energy City Cactus Rats.
Kick off the end of summer with one of the hottest parties in central Alberta. The Gulls Summer Send-Off and Backyard Party on August 23rd, 2025. Headliners like Josh Ross, Gord Bamford. You can visit it all at gullsummersendoff.com. Get your tickets there. You can also get your tickets on the Sylvan Lake Gulls website at sylvanlakegulls.com as well. Josh Ross, Canadian country singer and songwriter, as he is charted with the singles First Taste of Gone, On a Different Night, Trouble, Ain't Doing Jack, Single Again, Leave Me Too, and Drunk Right Now.
Oh boy.
There's lots of them. He's got a whole list of great hits of good country music.
That sounds like a weekend for me when I was 18.
Yeah. Well, he relates to me quite a bit, so yeah, that might be why I'm a fan.
There you go.
There you go.
0-2 the count on Zach Barneo, and it's in the hands of Big Vest to shut the door on the Energy City Cactus Rats, and they get the first out, fly out to left field. Michael Quick with the catch out and left, and that's 1 down. That'll bring up the shortstop, Ten Shindo, to face Nick Veselinovic.
Josh Ross was the Country Album of the Year Juno Award 2025 winner.
Really?
He was.
Nice. Where's he from?
He is from Ontario. Which city of Ontario? That is Burlington.
Okay.
That's where he originates from. He was born in Waterdown.
And 0-2 the count on Ten Shindo as he fouls that back out of play. You know, you don't really, and I'm not trying to pigeonhole, but you don't really relate country music with Ontario. You relate country music with Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Alberta, in my humble opinion. And Big Vest with a big strikeout. And the second out of the inning. So the Cactus Rats are down to their last batter as he ties up Ten Shindo into one big knot.
He just looks so calm, cool, and collected. They're like just another day at the office for this guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is just where he thrives. Goes to work, comes home, gets a paycheck, does what he needs to do.
Pats the dog, reads the paper.
Yeah, walks the
smokes
dog.
a pipe.
Yeah, smokes a pipe. Glass of old fashioned on the front porch. That's my kind of Big Vest right there.
There you go. He's pretty. I don't want to say ice water in the veins, but he's pretty, as the kids would say, he's pretty chill.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not all the kids. Maybe the kids I know.
That's
2-0 the count. Now that was a pitch that was that outside corner, and
it's been called tonight.
It did not get called on that one, so that's why there was a little uprising in the stands here. So
yeah, he's liking that one.
Nick decides, I'll just go inside then. Two and one to count on Drew Abercrombie, who's had a couple of base hits tonight, so he's going to be hard out, but it's lefty on lefty. And there's that spot, and there's that call.
And that's a little bit of a nice off-speed, kind of floats away from the middle of the plate to the outside, and that got the call that he was looking for. 2-2 the count now. Gulls looking for their second straight.
That's fouled out of play as Abercrombie stays alive.
Just going to say 8-1 record in 9 games and 11 nights would be pretty darn good, if you ask me.
Okay. Would that be pretty darn good?
It would be fantastic, Jim.
Well, you asked me to ask you, and I did.
Absolutely fantastic.
Oh, and tried for that outside corner.
That might be flirting a little too much there.
Yeah, that was maybe a little bit outside, yeah.
Full count to Drew Abercrombie. It's 2 for 3 on the night.
Oh, and that just slipped right out of
Slippery.
Veselinovic's hand.
He's getting ready for movie night on July 25th. Had that popcorn.
Yeah, that was not. He didn't have a grip on that ball, I don't think. He's wiping his hand off, but yeah. So there was a walk to keep the Cactus Rats' hopes alive here. Hunter Ferguson's watched this pitch. It just kind of gets to the top and whoop.
Yeah, that's got to be a good feeling too for Abercrombie to see that come out of his hand, and you know they're not even having to worry about that one. That's an easy walk.
Okay, this isn't Hunter Ferguson. This is Richiro Uno.
Richiro Uno. Pinch hitter.
Yep, that is correct.
Good eye.
Well, good ear. Calvin Bellows told me, that's number 7 batting. I can't see his number. There's too much chocolate cream pie in the way. And 1-1 the count on the pinch hitter, Richiro Uno. Great card game.
It is a fun card game.
Yeah. Runner over at first. He's the tying run. That's Abercrombie. And inside, the count now 2-1. This is it. It's up to Big Vess here because there's nobody warming up in the bullpen. This is his baby right now. And they check down the first baseline. Umpire Levi Wagner says nope, and Junior Garcia is going to go have a little chat with his pitcher.
Just kind of settle things down a little bit, being down in the count.
Yeah, a lot of nodding.
And some good encouragement, I think, too, from Junior Garcia, saying, you got this.
You know, and that's another thing that I have to point out, and I say it almost every night, is our catchers, Junior Garcia, Trip Ray, and Cam McLeod, they handle these pitchers very well. And they're handling guys that they don't know their tendencies. They don't know their pitches right away. They get to learn them, and they've learned them fast, and they know what these guys can do. So,
well, I will tell you this.
Full count now on Richiro Uno.
Junior Garcia and Big Vess go to the same school.
Yeah,
so they do know each other.
They do know each other.
That well, at least. They're quite familiar with each other. Big pitch here for Big Vess.
Fouled back by Uno to stay alive. So a good battle here between Big Vess and Richiro Uno. So 3-2 count, 2 out. Top of the 9th inning, Gulls with a 1-run lead. Here's the payoff pitch. And a called third strike to end the evening as Nick Veselinovic gets the K, gets the save, and the Gulls get the win.
8-1 in their 9-home stretch, and that was huge. Big Vest loving every minute of it. What a game it was. The Sylvan Lake Gulls, they get the 3 runs scored in the second inning, and then that's all they needed. Just the 3. It wasn't an impressive offensive affair, that's for sure, but it was a huge defensive effort, and they shut the door when they needed to and held off trying to come back Energy City Cactus Rats team. So that was a really good effort from the Sylvan Lake Gulls. I think if you ask them defensively, they did everything right. Offensively, maybe a little bit more could have happened. But, you know, some good pitching on both ends. It was a pitcher's duel, and it was a lot of fun to watch here at Gulls Field.
Yeah, I think the fans got their money's worth. They saw a really tight game. They saw some good defense. They saw a home run. They saw a couple of double plays. I think overall, I think the fans can, and they saw a win.
Yeah.
More importantly than all the other stuff. But the Cactus Rats team, they're competitive. They really are, and they even on the road they've done a pretty good job. So.
Well, let's hand it off down to our player of the game with Jared Waldo.
With Jared Waldo.
Thanks, Joe. Your EG Auctions player of the game, Garrett Lundmark. Garrett, some tidy work from the whole team tonight, but yourself, 3 innings pitched, 7 Ks out there. Just talk about the performance and how you were feeling tonight.
Oh, yeah. I mean, good game all around, but, yeah, just some days your stuff is better than other days, so today was one of those days. So I went out there and had some fun.
You know, Joe said it right before we came over here, 8 wins, 9 games, 11 days here at home. It's a lot of baseball in front of these fans. Another great crowd tonight. Talk about your experience as a Gull so far this season.
Oh, man, it's been awesome. The whole community, everybody's been so nice and welcoming. Couldn't ask for a better place.
Well, we wish you the best of luck as you head out on the road for a couple of games. We'll see you back here. But great game tonight, and congrats to you and your teammates on another well-played win.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
The Spokane, Washington native gets the job done when needed to, shutting the door, as you heard, 7 strikeouts in 3 innings pitched, not even giving up 1 run, as he just completely let things, you know, stay put where they were. The Gulls, they didn't put up a lot of runs tonight. 3 runs in 1 inning, and then after that, it was quiet from there on out. Yes, Energy City tried to surge a small comeback, but thanks to Garrett Lundmark and the rest of the pitching staff and Big Vest, things were shut down pretty quickly.
Sometimes you need a win like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just, you know, the pitching and the defense got the win, not the offense tonight. So there you go.
It was a big stretch of home games here. It was 8-1 in 9 games in 11 nights. It was very, very busy. But the Sylvan Lake Gulls, they just needed that little bit of home stretch, I think. They needed some home cooking because they went to cook, and they had a great showing here at Gulls Field for all fans in attendance in those 11 nights. It was high fives all around, some great plays from Brooks Bachman. The crowd was loving the sun. Wyatt McKnight was even enjoying some conversations with Don Buskus as you take a look at all the work that we were just talking about. Lundmark, our player of the game, did. Snapman lost again. Sully was wearing all the bright stripes and colors that he needed to. It was a good one. Sylvan Lake Gulls now head on the road for a few in Fort McMurray before returning home on Thursday, July 10th. So for Jim Claggett, I'm Cale Clark and the broadcast crew at FloCollege with another bird's eye view. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.